So let's dive into a story from a long-lost age. It's a foundational myth you think you know about how the world's greatest hero saved everyone. But what if I told you that very act of salvation is also the story of how he became its ultimate destroyer?
You know, these are the haunting words that open a piece of history from that time. They set the stage for one of the greatest tragedies ever told, a victory so complete, so catastrophic, that it literally broke the world. And that's really the question at the heart of it all. How does that happen? To answer that, we have to go way back to the final desperate days of a glittering high-tech civilization, to a time known only as the War of the Shadow. Okay, so try to picture a world at its absolute zenith, a near utopia with incredible technology, all of it powered by something called the One Power. But, in all their ambition, they made one massive, fatal error. See, they were looking for a new, universal source of energy. And in their search, they accidentally drilled a hole straight into the prison of a timeless cosmic evil, the Dark One. Its influence began to seep out to poison the world, and that sparked a global conflict that would be known as the War of the Shadow. Fast forward a decade, and after some of the most horrific fighting imaginable, the forces of light are on the verge of total collapse. The Shadow's armies are winning everywhere. Society is crumbling from the inside out. The will to even fight is just fading. They need a miracle, a final, desperate, all-or-nothing gambit to win. And this is the man they're all counting on. Lews Therin Telamon, the dragon. He's the supreme commander of all the armies of the light, the most powerful channeler of the age, and a figure straight out of prophecy. He is their last, best hope, and he has a plan. But here's the thing. His plan wasn't the only one on the table. With literally everything on the line, the leadership of the light just completely fractures. They're staring down two totally different paths to victory, and choosing the wrong one means the end of everything. So it really boiled down to two different philosophies. On one hand, you had Lews Therin. He proposed a lightning strike, a risky, all-in assault on the source of the problem, a place called Shayol Ghul, to seal the bore for good. But his opponents, led by a woman named Prophecies, they wanted containment. Their plan was to use two unbelievably powerful artifacts to just build a barrier around the problem, push the enemy back, and buy them some time. Lews Therin's plan could accidentally free the Dark One completely. Prophecies, well, it might just be kicking the can down the road. The debate gets so bitter, so heated, that Prophecies organizes something called the Fateful Concord. She gets every single powerful female channeler to swear an oath not to help Lews Therin with his plan. Now, this is a huge deal, because everyone thought his plan needed both men and women working together to succeed. With this one move, she basically kills his strategy on the floor. The leadership officially decides to go with her containment plan instead. Well, fate, as it turns out, had other plans. Just as they were getting ready to put one plan into motion, a series of absolute disasters not only made it impossible, but pushed the world right to the edge of annihilation. Okay, so for Prophecies' plan to work, those big artifacts needed smaller, special tools to even be used safely. Think of them like access keys. Well, just as those keys were being finished, an enemy general completely overruns the entire region. Just like that, the containment plan is dead in the water. They have the weapons, but no safe way to even turn them on. At the exact same time, two other enemy commanders launch massive new attacks. The lines are breaking, cities are in chaos. Defeat isn't years away anymore, it's months, maybe weeks. And with the high command totally paralyzed by debate, Lews Therin decides the time for talking is over. He is going to launch his attack, with or without anyone's permission.
And to really get how insane this gamble was, you just have to look at the numbers. The original plan, the one that was already considered reckless, it called for a security force of 20,000 soldiers. But because he was now acting against orders, going totally rogue, Lews Therin could only secretly pull together half that, just 10,000 troops for a mission that was already seen as a suicide run. And because of that fateful concord, he had no female channelers at all. Instead, he was followed by just 113 loyal male channelers, a small band that history would forever remember as the 100 Companions. And with this tiny, desperate force, he went straight into the heart of enemy territory to face down evil itself.
So, what happened next at Shayol Ghul would end the war. It would save the world from the shadow. But the price of that victory, oh, the price was a new kind of hell that no one, absolutely no one, could have ever imagined. Against all odds, the mission was a brilliant success. It worked. I mean, it actually worked. The seals held, the bore was patched, and the Dark One was locked away again. And in an unbelievable stroke of luck, all 13 of the Shadow's top generals, the immortal Forsaken, happened to be there and got trapped right along with their master. In a single day, the war is over. The light has won. A moment of triumph. A deep, collective sigh of relief for a world that had known nothing but war for a decade. But as that prison was being sealed shut, the Dark One played its final, devastating card. See, the One power is made of two halves, Sedar, the female half, and saidin, the male half. In its last, spiteful act, the Dark One reached out and placed an invisible, incurable poison on saidin itself. From that moment on, any man who touched his half of the power would be driven completely and horribly insane. And the absolute tragedy is that the saviors of the world were the very first victims. Lews Therin and the 68 survivors from his hunter companions. They went mad right on the spot. These men, the most powerful beings on the entire planet, were instantly twisted into forces of pure destruction. They wielded unimaginable power, with zero sanity to guide it. They shattered mountains, they boiled the seas, they leveled continents. This was the real price of victory. The end of the war was the beginning of the breaking of the world. In the chaos that followed all of that, a new prophecy started to spread, a prophecy that foretold that Lews Therin Telamon, the dragon, would one day be born again, that the same man who saved and destroyed the world in a single breath would return to face the shadow once more. And that leaves us with the ultimate paradox, doesn't it? This story isn't just ancient history, it's a prophecy. It sets the stage for a world that is terrified of its own prophesied savior, knowing that his very return signals both the world's only hope and its potential ruin all over again. This video is a fan-created summary overview. It is not affiliated with or endorsed by Robert Jordan, Brandon Sanderson, Tor Books, or the copyright holders of The Wheel of Time. All rights to the original work belong to them. Please support the series by purchasing the books.